Hello guys, today I'm going to do chapter 8, which relates to terms, signs and instruments part 2. This chapter is taken from Discovery Music Theory Grade 5, published by the ABRSM as a way of helping the students prepare for their Grade 5 Music Theory exam. In exercise 1, we need to tick the box that shows the correct symbol of the ornament that has been written out, developed, basically. In the first one, we have the note, the upper note, note, lower note and note. And then if you can see, the gruppetto or turn has exactly this shape. Note, upper note, note, lower note, note. So the answer is gruppetto. It couldn't have been trill because the trill has many notes, and a lower mordant is also not possible because it has just 3 notes. And look at here, this is the upper mordant and this is the lower mordant, just 3 notes. If these two would be repeated many times, that will be a trill. Okay, so this is the difference. The trill can also start from the upper note, which means that could have been also a trill if these 2 notes will be repeated for a while. So in this case, this is the upper mordant because the second note is up, and this one is the lower mordant because the second note goes down. So mordant and lower mordant. In the second example, we have, here it is, the trill. When you see something long, guys, this is the trill. So, trill. Then we have, look at the shape, note, note above, note, note below and note. This means that this is a gruppetto or turn. And in the last one we have note, lower note, note. And this is a lower mordant. Here it is. Okay, sorted. Let's move on to the next one. In our last example, we have still 3 ornaments to identify. The first one, note, lower note, note, that's a lower mordant. Then we have the upper mordant, not too fast because it's just with 2 semiquavers. And then we have a long thing, and the long thing could only be a trill. Done. Exercise 2. In exercise 2, we need to write the names of the written out ornaments. So we have no boxes to tick, but we actually have to guess the whole thing. This is a turn, it hasn't been already identified. Upper note, note, lower note, note. This one here, this is very interesting. We have 2 notes and they are 2 crotchets. So it seems like we don't need any ornaments here, but actually there is one that would be played like this. And this is the appoggiatura. Watch out with the spelling. We have 2 P's and 2 G's. So appoggiatura. Okay, appoggiatura relates to this verb, appoggiare, and I always use it for my students when we play. An appoggiato sound is a sound that makes us think of this. Look, this is dropping something, okay, and it is not appoggiato, but appoggiato means this. When we really put something on something, we lean on something. So we lean, and also we look after that thing, because by dropping it might break, or it is very rude as well. If we drop things, it is rude. So we always use this appoggiatura, which means leaning on something or also looking after something until it is safe. Therefore, this is the sense of appoggiatura. And the symbol of the appoggiatura is just a small note, okay? And it could be this, for example, or it could be this. I think in this case, this was the symbol. because we have a minim and a crotchete, and in this case it would be played like this, 2 crotchets basically. The next one, it is a clear acciaccatura, this one, because it has 2 notes. There is like that. So acciaccatura. Also the spelling here, I understand for non-Italian speakers it's hard. 2 C's in both times. So acciaccatura. Okay, appoggiatura, acciaccatura. This is a long trill. It is clear. So trill. When you see something long, it is a trill. Second question, we have again the acciaccatura, tra, tra. The acciaccatura goes like this, appoggiatura, tara. You see there is more gentle, tara. But acciaccatura is tra, tra. There is also another thing that I want to point out. In the appoggiatura, okay, the accent goes on the appoggiatura because the appoggiatura steals from the note to which is attached. And so it's like tara, tara. In the acciaccatura, which is like this, for example, okay, the acciaccatura steals from the note before, therefore the accent still falls onto the main note. Tra, tra, tra. Okay, appoggiatura, tara, tara, and this goes tra, tra. This is important because the development and the interpretation of trills or of ornaments in general is very important. There is a book as thick as this for the ornaments in Mozart, written by the pianist Badura Skoda. But I'm not telling you to read it. I'm just telling you that it is very important. It is an important topic. And first of all, we need to know what the manual says. And the manual says that the appoggiatura steals from the note, therefore steals the accent. The acciaccatura steals from the previous note. So if you know, if you're studying linguistic, one is encyclic, the other one is proclitic. Interesting. Tara, tra, tra, acciaccatura. Double C's. Sorry, my R is really like unusual. This is an appoggiatura. Tara, 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 tara. We really like tara, tara. Appoggiato means also looked after. Okay, it's not like tra. It's not this. It's tara, like a bow. Appoggiatura. And this is a clear gruppetto or turn because we have note, upper note, note, lower note, note. So gruppetto or turn. And another mordent, ta-da, ta-da, 3 notes. And it is upper mordent. So mordent means upper mordent. But if you want to talk about lower mordent, you will need to add lower mordent. I hope this is useful. There is a challenge here. Shall we do it together? Why not? So in this challenge, we need to write the music from exercise 2, so the 2 examples, with the embellishments, with the ornaments. So the music would be made of real notes, so bigger notes, and smaller notes, which are the ornaments or embellishments. That's the same thing. The next thing, therefore, is a smaller note. I will try to make it like smaller, very small. And then we have also the minim, okay? Then we have the last F. Then we have an acciaccatura and a Mi. Tied to a quaver and the last crotchet Do. Then we have a long trill as long as a crochet, trill, the last crochet and the rest. This is it. If you compare the two scores, you can see that this looks much tidier. This is why there are symbols, to make the music more direct and easy to read. On the contrary, a score with the written out ornaments looks very, very difficult, and it puts us off if we want to sight read or if we have to sight read. So it is important. This is why the ornaments exist. Okay, the second example, we have an acciaccatura. This is in treble clef, okay, Fa, Mi. Then we have Mi, Re. This is also an appoggiatura, we said. So we have this, and the main note would be a crochet. Then we have two quavers, okay, and here I can decide whether to put the stems up or down because they are basically half and half. I put them down just to make it consistent with the previous bit. And we also have a crochet, and now we have another crochet with a turn. Therefore, here it is. Lastly, we have a mordant on just one note, which is a crochet and this. So this is it. Oh, look at this. It looks so simple now. And again, if we compare the two scores, you can see that this first one looks very easy, right? As a sight reading, it will be like, oh, that's a piece of cake. But if you would be asked to sight read the previous one in exercise 2, you would say like, oh, that looks a bit tricky. Okay, let's turn the page and let's go to more Italian terms. Just to let you know, I am publishing shorts on Italian terms in music. And if you want, you can click on the link included in the description below or on the card up here. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram when you will be able to also watch my videos about them. They are very useful because they tell you something that I don't think you can find in books, because most of these Italian terms are still used daily in Italy, and they very often they still have the same meaning as music. So I can really go deeper into the meaning of the terms, and that would make you be able to interpret them in a more meaningful way when they occur in the pieces that you play. So in understanding the meaning of words is important because, of course, it's all about that. If there isn't a term, if the composer wrote down a term, it means that it is important, and they used that one and not another one because they wanted that kind of effect, they wanted that direction, they wanted that dynamic and not another one. So it is important. Okay, attacca, you find this term at the end of a piece, for example, a movement of a sonata, to say that, or for example, a symphony or a concerto for orchestra or for a soloist and orchestra. And it means that there is no break between the two movements, but you have to go straight on to the next thing. So although there is a break, in fact, with attacca, it means start playing. Okay, attacca means start playing, literally. It means glue. Originally, it means glue this to something else. So glue this ending to the start of the next piece. So it could be start with no gaps, no breaks between the movements. I think that the official translation by ABRSM is go straight on. I might make a video soon about this because this is interesting. What is the Italian term for in an undertone? Okay, sottovoce. Now, this term, sottovoce, that is used in both instrumental and singing music. Sottovoce means, okay, sotto means down and voce means voice. But I don't know if this is like undertone. It confuses me because tone could be the color, but this is nothing about the color. It's about the richness of the sound. So for example, if so basically sottovoce means that you need to use less harmonics. The sound is less rich than it normally is. So you know that a sound is composed by harmonics. There are like cells that make the sound, and there are many, even though if we can't hear them. So there are like bits and pieces that like Lego pieces, and basically sottovoce means take some Lego pieces out of the sound and make it less rich, less bold. So for example, I'm not a singer, so I apologize, but if it's like da, for example, this is richer, da, but sottovoce would be da. So literally you have to close half of your throat to have this kind of sound. Da. That's not rich at all. Again, I apologize for my singing. It's a very basic singing, but I think I gave you the idea of this sottovoce. It means half voice, so it means less rich, and the singers would have to close half of their throat, and any instrumental player would have to create a sound that is not rich, but is a weaker sound. The Italian term for broadly is largamente, I think, largamente. That means, you know, largo means vast, to expand. In music, often space and time mean the same thing as in astrophysics. So, expand the notes in the space around you, and so play more play slower, but also heavier, richer, because we need to fill the space with sound. Perdendosi, okay, here you have a video about this, please go and watch it. Perdendosi means basically losing the sight of something, dying away, they say. Allegro con spirito. Okay, allegro means happy, and con spirito means with spirit. So, happy with spirit, but allegro means fast. So, fast with spirit. I think I should make a video of all of them because that doesn't make very much sense, but you have to be lively, very like bubbling, with plenty of enthusiasm. Okay, so it's fast, enthusiastic, happy, vibrant, lots of other things. So it is much more than allegro, and I think it's also, it would say a little bit fast, very bubbly, yeah. Largo and sonoro. Largo means large, so expanded around, and sonoro means with plenty of sound. It's very similar to this broadly, I would say. Largamente or largo and sonoro would mean the same thing in this case. So let's say slow and like resonant, resonant, yeah. Sempre cantando, always singing, in a singing style. At choice, it's, well, the Italian term is not really Italian, but it's Latin, ad libitum. Ad libitum, or ad lib. You can also find this, but that is not Italian, it's Latin. Morendo means dying away, to nothing. So dying, also this is metaphorically, so it's the sound that needs to be, it's very similar to perdendosi, because perdendosi means losing the sight, and morendo means dying really, so the sound is really dying. Imagine the sound as something that is breathing. If you have, the sound would not breathe anymore, so really expire. Yeah. Dying to nothing. And this to nothing gives us the sense of something that is really like disappearing. And yeah, it is very metaphorical, this image of something dying. An actor in a movie doing that, you can see that they like expire in a moment, and that moment is the niente that they want us to feel. Quasi, okay, this could be used in English as well, and pronounced as quasi, but the pronunciation is quasi, okay, it means almost. Recently, a president of one of the European nations, I'm not telling you which, said that one of the vaccines, I'm not telling you which, was quasi ineffective, almost ineffective. That was incorrect, but the word was correctly used, quasi. Almost, nearly. The book says as if or resembling. I would say that unfortunately the meaning is almost. I think it's more appropriate. Smorzando. Another word for smorzando. It could be perdendosi, it could be morendo. It's the same thing. Smorzando is when it's like you turn the volume down until nothing. To nothing, basically, so it's the same meaning. So perdendosi, morendo, that's the same. Rinforzato, which is different from sforzato. Rinforzato means, for example, when you see scaffolding, or you go to an old village and there is a house that is nearly falling, and you need like some metal scaffolding to protect the house or the tower. Let's imagine the tower, and so you protect it and you keep it safe, you keep it up. That is a rinforzo, so it means that you increase the force, you increase the strength of something, and so rinforzato means this, with an increased strength. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. I really feel that I should make videos of all of them because it is interesting to know this. So rinforzato, it's different from sforzato. Sforzato is an effort, reminds us of an effort, so it's something really unpleasant as well. But rinforzato is something that it's more close to strength, so it's more powerful. Singing is cantando, of course. Largamente con dolore. Okay, largamente, we said that. Spread in the space, across the space. So time and space are the same. So basically slower, con dolore, with pain. So it is not a nice thing, this one, when you find it. So broadly, with pain, grief, they say. Yeah, grief is fine. Pain, so painful. Broadly and painfully. Oh, and another one, very happy, another happy word, sorrowful, sad, mesto, doloroso. You can find also mesto, doloroso, or dol, also, you can find it as dol, the first 3 letters with a dot. Doloroso or mesto, you can find both. Sometimes in music you can find also mesto. Okay, that's all. I hope my explanation was useful, and don't forget that you can always find me on Facebook and Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. I also have a website, theoryvirtuoso.com. All the links are in the description below. Now let's go on to exercise 4, which adds some German terms. Langsam means slow. That's it. The German word for sad is traurig. Sorry about my pronunciation. I try to be... I apologize with my German-speaking viewers. I do my best. Lebhaft, lively, allegro, basically. Fast. And the German word for fast is schnell. I think you guys use it to say like, quick, quick, make it quick. We are in a hurry. Schnell, schnell. Vivace is also lively, so it's lebhaft. And ruhig is peaceful, tranquil. The equivalent French word to massé is moderato. So modéré, moderate, very similar. And the German word for vite, which is schnell, fast, allegro, is schnell. And this is it. I hope it is useful, and let's turn the page for some quizzes. In exercise 5, we need to tick the box that shows the correct translation for the given words. Ruhig, we just said that, means peaceful. Morendo, dying away. Remember, really dying. And this is an arpeggio symbol. Arpeggio means that instead of playing the notes all together as a chord, because this is what it is, this is a chord, we spread them from the bottom to the top. Da, di, da, da. Da, di, da, da, in this case. Now, what's the speed of this? That is a choice. It could be that this is the final chord of a fast piece, and then you do like drum, drum, or it could be that it's very tender, you want to make it tender, and you can do it like da, di, dan, dan. So it is really the choice of the interpreter, and it has to make sense with the rest of the music, of course. It depends on where it is, it depends on the function, it depends on your choice, and you can always change it. Every day you play, you can slightly change it. So I think it's this, spread the chord from the bottom. Yes, because the other option would be from the top, but it is incorrect. Tranquillo means calm. Con dolore, so with grief. And attacca means go straight on to attacca. So for example, when we go, when I used to go to my piano lessons, my teacher would say sometimes attacca. Okay, so that means start playing. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so attacca. Okay, but in this case it means go straight on to the next thing with no gaps. So there is no gap between two different movements of a sonata, a concerto, a symphony, whatever it is. But there are two separate pieces blend together with no gaps, just a breath and start. Okay, as opposed to a moment in which people could move or could cough or could check something written on the paper, if you go to a concert and then you have that moment in which the people in the audience would move or cough. That very, very often they cough because they resist not to during the music, and then they use that gap to do it. In that case, there wouldn't be, because there's no gap. Okay, next page. As we're here, guys, before we continue, I'd like to thank you for subscribing, for liking my videos, for getting in touch. I love it, and please do so because I really like staying in touch with you. Thank you very much. Vit means quick, fast. Lebhaft, vivace. Quick, lively, very quick. MD, mano destra, with the right hand. Mano, oh, sorry, don't know why I started. Mano destra, there you go, right hand. Which is fastest, andante, allegro, massig or lent? Well, I would say allegro, guys, because yeah, andante is at a walking pace, lento is lent, massig is moderate, so I would say allegro. Which one is the slowest? I would say langsam, because schnell is fast, allegro fast, they are the same thing, and moderé is moderato, so langsam means slow. Tre corde, okay, this is very interesting. Release the left pedal, and this is because on the piano we have 3 strings for each note, and by pressing the left pedal we make the action shift towards a side, and by doing so the hammer would hit just one string, which means 1 C. This is why sometimes we find this una corda, 1 C, 1 chord basically, and 3 C means okay, lift up the pedal and go back to the normal situation in which the hammer can hit 3 strings. Okay, I'll make a video about it, so stay in touch. Sad is traurig. Not largamente. Lebhaft means vivace, so I don't think so. And morendo is dying away. Sonoro means resonant, with a rich tone. Absolutely, yes. With passion is another thing, and singing is cantabile, cantando. Simple, plain is semplicemente. Semplice. Without is senza. Con is with. Schnell is fast. Sotto is, well, under. They say sottovoce probably, so under or half voice. And with this, we have completed this chapter. I hope it was useful. Thank you for watching my video and stay in touch. Bye bye.